everybody, it's Kelly with kellyscards.ca, and this is the second card in my everyday card kit number 7. For this card I've picked more of a calmer type card with embossing paper in the background, as well as this awesome die cut. We're going to do a die cut inlay technique for this, and just to show you how you can again use your scraps very effectively. So for some of these papers, I had some of these papers left over, and by using my die cuts and creating these circles, this is going to create a bit of background for our piece. So to start out, I took just regular white cardstock and I embossed it with this Tim Holtz embossing folder, and I just love this look. It adds a very nice, kind of subtle and very quiet background, and this is really good for either get well cards or sympathy cards, but it's also really good for, say, Mother's Day cards, anything that would provide kind of a soft and gentle tone. So to get started, we are going to put down this piece first. First, I'm going to use some score tape on this mat. Sometimes when you put down embossed papers, because of the up-downness from the embossing, it's hard to stick, so that's why I like to use either the score tape or a really sticky adhesive. So we're going to pull this off now. And we will bring our main card base in. We're going to put this on nice and centered. And that really looks nice, and again, very gentle and nice background. Now if you want to add a little bit of color to this, if you take your own embossing folders and emboss your backgrounds, you can add ink to where is going to be impressed, and then this would be all colored. This is a wonderful way to add color, but still keeping it kind of quiet and subtle. So first we're going to lay our circles down, and then just to have an idea of where this is going to go. So this will probably have to come down, and we can just move it around to where you like it. If you don't like it where I have it, feel free to move things down. But I think this looks fairly good. I just want to have this a little bit more down, and I'm just going to use this little tool to help me pull this under. And I think that looks really good. So to start out, we want to do the bottom layer first. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this circle first, and I'm just going to add some adhesive onto the back of this. And again, you want to use a fair amount because it is on this embossed paper. And I'm just going to bring this back in and to make sure that I like where it is. So I think that looks good. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the bigger one that's on the bottom. You can use a wet adhesive, but I think a dry adhesive, something like a tape runner, is going to be much more easier for you to stick this down. It won't be as messy. So now we just have our final circle here. And again, I keep bringing this piece in just to make sure everything is lined up the way I want it. Just like that. Now something really neat about putting this type of card together is I could stamp something here on this plainer piece like sending hugs. That is an idea that you can also use to layer your sentiments. I'm not going to do that here, but what we're going to do now is we're going to adhere this piece down to here. So because we're going to put this down and then inlay the letters, you have two choices. You can put a whole bunch of adhesive down on this white piece and then place everything on top, or you can put adhesive on this piece and then dab some wet glue on the inside. I have put adhesive on this portion, as you can see from the shine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up and I'm going to put this down onto my piece. And I just want to make sure everything is nice and flat, like that. And now that this is on there, what we're going to do is we're going to die cut inlay these pieces. And basically what that means is we're going to make, instead of this up and down, because of the different levels of the cardstock, I have cut the word hugs, and we're going to place it on top so that when you run your finger across, it's all going to feel like one piece and one layer, but it's not. It's all die cut. And there's a way that I like doing this. I like doing this with the wet glue. It's a little bit less messy and it's less adhesive than sticking adhesive pieces all the way across. So I'm going to take some of this multi-matte medium. Again, pretty much any wet glue is going to work, and I'm just going to dab it. I'm not going to put a lot of glue on. Do not go crazy because it'll be a little bit on the messy side. And I'm just dabbing little dots into the letters. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our letters and we're going to put them into the spaces, and they will fit perfectly, and just give it a little bit of pressure to put them in there. We've got our H in there now, our U's going in nicely, and we will just continue with the rest of the letters. And you can kind of, with the wet glue, give them little gentle pushes to help guide them up against the edges. So now this piece is one layer and it looks really cool. And this whole piece is going to layer over top. What I've included is a piece of foam that's going to help raise this up, just to add a little bit of dimension. And we're going to add this right now to that hugs piece. And this will just help give it a little bit of a raised dimension. If you're mailing this, you don't have to add this piece, but I think it really does add a lot to the card, adding that bit of dimension. And then this is going to lay across here. So again, I'm going to add my adhesive to the back of the foam. I was using this type of adhesive, but I found it really frustrating to take the backing off, so I've moved back into my tape runner for adding adhesive to the foam. So now we're going to add this piece, and we're going to make sure it is nice and even on both sides. And that is perfect. So now that is on there, we can just add the finishing touches, which I've added a few sequins into your kit. And I like to pick out different colors as well as different sizes when I do the sequins. So I've added my sequence now. I've added this little turquoisey one, and I'm going to put it up there. I'm going to have the little clear one here, which will probably be protected from this raised portion, and the white one on there. So again, I'm going to bring back my multi-medium and just tap a little bit of glue down and add my sequence. Again, I like to use a tool like this to just help apply some pressure. And then this little one's a little bit more tricky, but again, once you get the glue on, you can just use your tool if you have a tool. And then this one here, I'm going to put in this nice spot here. There's a nice flat spot right there, and I will put it here. Now if you have a flat spot over here, just adjust to help it stick a little bit better. I'm going to use this acrylic block just to put it over top, just to help add the pressure onto the sequence, just to help it dry on there a little better. And again, I like to leave this for a couple minutes, then I'll come back and I'll pull it off and it'll be fully adhered. So now I'm going to take this off, and I think that looks really good. The last part is, of course, just adding the insert, and even though this is white, I like to do this for a couple reasons. One, if you start piling things on the front, it makes your front top heavy. This way it adds a little bit more weight to the back. I think it just gives a clean look on the inside of the card, and it just really finishes up the card. So now I'll bring this one in and put that again. And again, this is a 1/4 inch smaller on the length and width so that it fits to leave this little bit of border. So really like this card. Again, I love doing cards like this, very calm. You can use this for so many reasons. You can have this card ready for if somebody just needs a pick-me-up, sympathy, get well. Even if you just want to send this for a Mother's Day card, you could add Happy Mother's Day down here. This is a very versatile type of card. So I hope you enjoyed this card. Again, this is card number 2. There are 3 more cards coming in this card kit series, and I hope that you will look out for those videos. Please check me out on my website at kellyscards.ca. You can also subscribe to my main channel where I have lots of hauls and other videos. And just want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.